The thing is, we spend most of our time in the important and urgent quadrant. You know, the stuff that's urgent, that we know is important, that's where we put our focus on, right? But the thing is, the important's always important. Even if it's not urgent, it's always important, right? So why aren't we focusing on that? And it's like, and I hear people say the same thing all the time. Oh, we don't have time because there's always urgent stuff. Well, here's the invitation. The invitation is, A, you do have enough time if you really look at it and manage your time properly, right? There's lots of things that you're doing that aren't urgent and aren't important. So if you replace that with but the thing is, we're so stressed and preoccupied by this that when we're not doing this, we kind of just back off and relax, right? So the idea is, if we keep doing the important and not urgent, this lessens. This becomes less and less frequent, less and less a part of our daily activity, because we're managing things. It's like the old exam thing. You know, you got your exams tomorrow, so suddenly it's important and urgent you do an all-nighter study, or a coursework that you want to hand in, or a project deadline that you need to submit a proposal for, or whatever the hell it is. Right? The day before it becomes important and urgent. Well, if you did little bits of it every single day for 2 weeks, you'd never get to that stage. I've got a wedding coming up, so it's important and urgent that I look good so I can fit into my dress, right? So you start crash dieting before your wedding, right? But the thing is, if you looked after your health every day, you'd never need to do that. It's the same thing. It's the same as sales. You know, I do courses with sales groups, sales departments, and they're like, they got targets to hit, and suddenly it's, you know, they're on their phone and they're hammering it out. And you see it in football as well, like you know, when there's 10 minutes to go of the game and the team's losing, and suddenly they push it up a gear. You know, it's subconscious, a lot of it, but that's because we're not planning it properly. So in sales, you know, if we're doing 10% more effort than we normally do day in, day out, by the time your sales target is hit, it's no longer urgent because you've already gotten there. And if you prefer to work that way, great. Then what you do is, for the 2 weeks before, relax. What happens is, most people aren't relaxed. They're stressing about the important and urgent that's coming up. They're stressing about it. So if you know that you're going to wait till the last minute, then at least enjoy the 2 weeks before that. At least enjoy it stress-free. But if you can't, if you're stressed already, then you might as well start focusing on what's important before it becomes urgent. And that way you can manage your time. It's less stress. It's more sustained. It's more industrious. It's more consistent. Right? It's more habitual. And the more habitual it is, the more automatic it is, which means way less stress, way less energy spent dealing with it. And of course, the unimportant, and then look at your day, look at your calendar, and see how much unimportant and urgent stuff you're wasting your time with. Like being on time for the football, and I have to go to the pub, you know, and it's like how much unimportant stuff is urgent that's occupying your time, and how much unimportant and not urgent stuff is occupying your time. Like flicking through social media. Is that important? No. Is that urgent? No. Netflix. Is that important? No. Is that urgent? No. You know, I remember in the old days before Netflix, where we'd have to catch a TV show because, you know, they show it live on TV. You can't record it. And then that's it. You've missed it. You have to wait for the DVD box set to come out and spend £30 on that before you're able to watch it again. So you have to watch each episode as it's aired on TV. Young people are listening to this going, what the fuck is that? Right? Yeah, that's what we had to do. We had to wait for it to be shown on TV and watch it as it was shown on TV. And that was it. That was the only opportunity we had, right? I could then argue that that's unimportant but urgent, right? I got to watch the show when it comes on, but it's not really important. Now it's not even fucking urgent because you can just watch it whenever you want. So look at the time that you're spending, and then box it for me, and then come and say to me, I'm always in that and I don't have any time for that. Because it's bullshit, because you're definitely spending time here, and this definitely gets reduced if you focus more on that. So that's the idea behind the time management model, the time management quadrant. The important is always important. If you focus on it when it's not urgent, you are in control. right? Knowing that focusing on this is going to get you closer to where you want to be, experience life in a way that's less stressful, cut out any unnecessary suffering, maintain a balanced week, month, year, where you're sleeping well, eating well every day, not just when it's not urgent. It's that type of thing, and that's up to you. And this is what I say to everybody: if what you're doing works for you, then keep doing it, right? But don't do things that don't work for you. Complain about it, and then when I talk to you about what you can do, instead you go, oh yeah, but that doesn't work. Okay, well, it doesn't work. Then just stop complaining and do what does work for you. That's the idea. But Stuart Brand, I believe, said this. The urgent will always find you. You don't have to look for it. The non-urgent you have to look for. You have to identify and specify, and then say that's something that's important, not urgent right now, and I'm going to. So it takes more effort, right? So in many ways, this is the lazy way, right? This is the proactive, creative, in control way. This is the lazy way, because the urgent's always going to find you. It's always going to slap you in the face, right? The deadline's always going to go boom and just turn up and say, hey, you got no more time. That's the easiest way to stroll through life, right? And then roller coaster, right? Experience the stress and then you're relieved. Then experience, and then there's some sort of addiction to that as well. It's like it's nice, you feel alive. Oh, look at the stress, and then it's so relieved, and it's like that's not sustainable, and it's not enjoyable, right? There's something fundamentally flawed about that way. Whereas if you're constantly working on the important, you're managing your life, you're managing your time, you got a control over the things that you can, and there's a constant improvement in what you're doing too.